Hello, and this is Spotlight, recorded, not live, here on Grapple Patreon, I suppose. I'm Benno.
And I'm Matty.
And you might notice, audio listeners might notice a slight difference. Video viewers will definitely notice a big difference as I'm sat on a couch here. We've gone a bit gorilla, Matty. We're not live for the patrons for once. I've just landed in I say a new country. I'm back in Bangkok in Thailand, but I'm in a new apartment, new surroundings, new tech issues that could possibly go wrong. So yeah, we've erred on the side of caution tonight, mate.
Of course, mate. There's always tech that has to be sorted out with yourself, Ben. But you sound okay, mate. You look okay as well. Like we were talking just before we went on here.
Nah, lighting's not great, to be honest. Bill looks better than me in the background. That's his name, Bill, the American Teddy. But no, I'm set up. I've got my 7-Eleven coffee here. I've got a 7-Eleven root beer over there as well. I'm holding my microphone like I'm doing commentary on Match of the Day. It's like back to the old school, mate. I like it. I will say quickly, we've got a lot to get through, and we haven't got. We don't know how much time we've got either. That's the other thing about this. I might be stitching some of this back together depending on how the internet goes and how the neighbours get on with us recording very late here tonight. But yeah, I did discover today, Matty, in moving into my lovely new condo, great place, got a little pool, got a little co-working space, which I found out tonight closes at 10. Can't go down there. That's an issue. Got a nice little gym. Biggest feature, mate, there's 2 7-Elevens across the road, and that's great. But I've got 2 vending machines downstairs that are 7-Eleven vending machines that sell all the toasties, all the little drinks and stuff like that. There's a little towel bin machine there as well. I'm living the life, mate. I don't think I'm ever going to leave the apartment complex here once I get the internet properly set up.
If you could construct your very own what you'd want, Ben, where you live in, that's what you'd have.
That's what it is.
That's all it is, mate. Great stuff. I did see your pictures on our Discord there before, so yeah, they look mad. Them machines though, Ben. What's that one you're saying can make a coffee, a protein shake, and a fucking fizzy drink, mate? I wouldn't touch that though. You know what I'm like, making all that, coming out the same spout and that. Nah, not for me. That.
I was blowing Hamlet's mind today because, obviously he's going to be over in Thailand. I don't think he's that excited about, seeing, I guess he is probably about seeing Bangkok and stuff and the culture and that. He's just excited about the towel bin because, let me tell you, it literally is that. It's it's kind of a vending machine, but it spits out it'll make you a good quality, proper Americano, but it'll also make you a smoothie. And it'll also make you a protein drink, and it'll also make you put a cherry Pepsi Max or something. It feels wrong. It feels like there's a little fella hid inside the machine or something like that, making it for you. But we're just that far ahead, mate. We're living in 2050 out here. It's mind blowing stuff.
They will come over here eventually, I'm sure, even if they haven't already been filtered in. Definitely.
Well, speaking of Hamlet, as we said, we have obviously got a packed August schedule coming up. We did just do Bash at the Beach 96 with Hamlet over on the Patreon. People can still check out. People seem to be really enjoying that one. Might have stumbled on a possible new Fed Odyssey, or dare I call it a Ted Odyssey, maybe. We're looking at maybe doing some other Bash at the Beaches. Is probably all I can say at the minute. We were thinking of going yearly, and then was it you or actually it was one of the patrons. It was you, and had to remind me that I've actually already done Bash at the Beach 1997, so I've gone full John and Way now. Even I don't know I always say that I'm the catalog Matty. I know I don't forget these things, but to be fair, that one was pre-Patreon, so I don't think that's that doesn't fully count, but it was a flashback. So yeah, with that in mind, maybe every 2 years or something like that, we'll go back to Bash at the Beach 98, Bash at the Beach 2000. We're completists. Maybe we'll circle back around and do 94. I think there's something in that, mate.
100%, Ben. As you say, every 2 years there, and they are noteworthy, of course, for different reasons. So it'd be good to a Ted Odyssey. I do like that name a lot. Can't come up with the credit myself for that one. It's an absolute cracker of a title. But yeah, that's something we will be doing for sure coming up over the next few months. And get that rolling.
But it won't be in August, will it, mate? We got plenty coming up there.
Yeah, in August we have got lovely little graphic.
There's me lovely graphic, mate. That. That's not finished either. Everything's unfinished today. We're going at that. I need to fix some of the censor and the lesser and stuff like that. Well, basically, I just stole it from TNA, which is again for the audio listeners, our lovely AJ Styles graphic, who's going to be leading things out for our August shows coming up.
Yeah, that's the big one. We've got the deep cut, phenomenal AJ Styles. We're keeping it. It's a deep cut, as if we always have this, Ben, don't we? Every time one of these shows comes up, is it a deep cut? Is it a mixtape? It's somewhere.
It's a mixtape until I start adding 16 sickos matches. I realise this month I'm the problem. I think that's the issue.
But this one maybe, Ben. But it'll be a
do a whole career. Understand?
Yeah, it's got to be at the same time. We've do the 8 big matches. But yeah, we can add so many matches from his career. It'll be well worth diving into there. Hopefully we can turn Gareth round, you know, because we had that little nugget that Gareth's not
surprised
even.
Me, that.
It really did surprise
That's his
me.
secret cow. Speaking of the Hamlet show, you know.
Yeah,
that's his Ric Flair, that's his Dean Malenko, that's his Bobby Heenan, you know. There's a lot of them. It's his Eddie Guerrero.
There's an awful lot of them, Ben. But yeah, that should be. I can't wait to start the own work on that one. Coming up next weekend, we've got the UK Rampage 1991, and it's going to be myself, you, and Liam is going to join us for that one, Ben. I'm talking all things.
Basically, everyone's on holiday.
Yeah,
or it's their birthday.
Are we tying it in with it? Go on.
This is Gareth and JP's like June, isn't it? Like their birthdays are obviously like 2 days apart, like mine and yours. Again, I like that symmetry. It kind of works, but it's a problem when it leaves us a man down. But Liam standing in as only you can. And
also, it's tying into obviously with there being a big UK extravaganza coming up this month, and it with Forbidden Door, which will tie into
bit of
grapple lads. You know, myself and Gareth will record in the hotel room. Probably the morning after. Probably the morning after. Ben, we will do a show and get something out there with the review.
I'll fly back, mate. I'll force it. I'll shove a phone in your face if you don't get it done this month. It's happening.
As Gareth said, we'll be in bed together, so we might as well just do it, Benno. We'll be fine. So
yeah, Hamlet end up doing it, aren't we, from Bangkok? Grapple at Bangkok. Maybe I'll do one and not tell you, and just have it as a backup just in case.
It will happen. And then also, rounding the month out, we've got our monthly King of the Mountain choice, and it's Simon Mulvaney going to join us. I've had a sneak peek into what it is, so a slight little spoiler, but we'll not announce it, of course. Keep it here for Simon to reveal all in the upcoming month. And also telling you live on here as well, because I know what you want it. Retro is getting recorded this Wednesday night, so it will be there, ready in the camp for whatever you want to throw it in. You know, and we're going to, it's a bit of we'll explain on here as a little apology for the listeners and the patrons that have been waiting for more Retro. So
it'll be the first time you just go, it's episode 18, can you believe it? And everyone listening at home will go, no, I can't believe it. Can't believe it's back. I say that, it's only been 6 weeks on it. You just can catch up.
We can catch up. And but that does, August does sound, as always, Ben, we always say it, but it does look like an upcoming great month. Bit of UK Rampage, bit of Grapple Lads, bit of AJ, bit of everything there, mate.
There you go. Plenty coming up, and obviously, as the graphic says there, we got a Forbidden Door coverage, of course, this month, as well as SummerSlam coverage that we're doing today. Clash at the Paris, Clash at the Castle, Clash at the Paris Castle. I don't know whatever they're calling it this month, as well as obviously the G1 finals. Once we have JP back as well, we'll be covering it as well in plenty of detail. People are wondering where Lucha Underground is. We will be doing Lucha Underground season 1. That'll be the next leading off the next full month. We'll be leading with AJ Styles this month, while we give JP and Gareth a little weekend off next week, and then we'll have obviously Dealer's Choice next month as well, so it's all going to be going on.
Well, Ben, you mentioned the big shows like SummerSlam, Forbidden Door, Clash at Paris. You forgot Triple Mania as well, mate. I'm sure JP will be dissecting that as well in the middle of the month.
You can add that to the graphics, man. Go on, I'll let him do that. That's what he can do in his holidays while he's sunning himself. I say that like, he's living a charmed life. Literally, I'm in Thailand. I'm fucking great time. I've got sunbeds downstairs. Maybe I can podcast from down there myself as well. But to throw in as well, I haven't added to the graphic yet. But while you're doing Retro, I'll be doing a Grapple Live this week with the one and only Suit Williams. Just injecting a lethal dose of poison, mate, into Grapple Towers. That's what I'm doing as countermate to some of the shows we've been doing this weekend. But very much excited to get Suit on the Grapple Live and to get his thoughts on everything that's been going on this weekend, which leads us into no nice way to say it. Obviously, our topic we're going to be talking today, which is the 2 nights of SummerSlam, but there is only one place to start, mate, and that's obviously the big news that's come out over obviously coming out of the second night of the shows, and has been pretty much all anybody has talked about the last 24 hours, which is obviously Brock Lesnar returning to WWE. If you're wondering where he was gone for 2 years. They never really gave an explanation. It was just Brock does what Brock wants. That's what the original Triple H quote was. But I did manage to catch the end of SummerSlam live this morning. Sean Ross Sapp obviously saying that nobody was expecting to see Brock. There wasn't anybody who was even theorizing about it. We did our obviously a Grapple Weekend show preview at the weekend as well, and don't think it crossed either of our minds that it could
Nope.
potentially happen. Probably because it's a really fucking terrible idea. That they've massively deserved the pelters they've had over the last 24 hours, mate. But yeah, obviously we can get into the news surrounding it, and it seems at press time while we're recording here live, the Janelle Grant side has come out with a statement regarding it as well, as they rightly should. But yeah, as things tend to go in the wrestling universe, I know me and you have fun when we joke about with some of the WWE versus AW wars and all of that partisan stuff. It's obviously taking the form of that as well, but some things that are a lot more important. And yeah, I don't think anybody can justify the end to SummerSlam last night.
I couldn't believe it, Ben. I genuinely couldn't believe it when this music hit. I was like, and you know me as a WWE fan, but it's like, you just can't, as you said there, you can't defend it. It just stinks of like, and it adds into what, like, sorry if we jump all over the place here, like, it just ties into the presses getting cancelled, doesn't it? That's the reason why they're getting cancelled, and Triple H with Trump in the week and such like that. And, you know, I was always, hard for me to say, like, always give Triple H kind of the benefits now in some ways, Ben. But yeah, he's just, and even at the new presser where he's in front of the fans, and he's basically threw it all on it's Cena's choice that Lesnar's back. He's just passed the blame over to Cena straight away.
Shit,
it's like, genuinely is. He didn't like them. And it's a completely different set of circumstances, but I'm glad the presses are gone, because we've all had this we've agreed on, just worthless, really. But knowing what you know now after SummerSlam and the reason why he's got rid of it for this particular, event.
And it's definitely the reason, by the way, for anyone out there saying it's not 100%.
It has to be. It has to be, and it is. But Ben, it's everything coming in now, mate, isn't it? It's like you're reading everything online, as you say, and seeing everyone's, outrage, and it's even stuff like, as far as, is this just a test run? Like, if Cena wants Vince back at the end, you've got that's creeping into people's minds, and it's like, it's wild. It just
more and more likely by the day.
Yeah,
like, I don't think it's necessarily a test run, but I do think it opens the door further, because like, that's the thing. That's what the company has just leaned massively into that now. The whole MAGA thing, like you say, Triple H with Trump this week. Like, there was a time 18 months ago where they ducked stuff like that, and they never. UFC was one thing, and UFC obviously was very open about the love for Trump, and the love for using fighters who've had similar allegations to what's happened with Vince McMahon, and that the way they ran UFC felt like it was quite different to the way they ran WWE when it came to TKO. But now it
not now.
Feel like mask off. It feels like now, like, yeah, they are the MAGA wrestling company. They are what everybody thought they were. And like you mentioned, the Trump thing and Vince McMahon, like, the reason I think maybe they are testing the waters, maybe they're not. But yeah, if they're going to lean into this attitude of fuck, which is basically the Triple H attitude, which is fuck you, Brock is back, then what's going to stop them being like, fuck you, Vince is back in a few months, or a few years, probably more likely, once the case is settled. Obviously, Meltzer's come out and said, they must have ran this, obviously, through the lawyers on the Brock side. Like, again, don't let anybody fool you that it's just a timing thing, or there's some other reason why, at this point they've decided to bring Brock back. It's always going to be the lawyers have said yes, not John Cena said yes. More to the point there as well. But yeah, like, that to me just tells you what the attitude is right now. They'll maybe testing the waters, as opposed to your point, with what they can get away with. And based on the reaction to Brock, obviously there's always going to be a massive part of the fan base that are going to push back, but there's always going to be those people in the crowd who are going to cheer, who are going to pop for the surprise, or are going to be like we've seen on Twitter over the last 24 hours, well, what did Brock do? He didn't do it. He didn't commit any crimes. I always, reminds me the Vince stuff of P. Diddy and his trial, and I again follow a lot of rap pages on Instagram, and half the comments are, well, didn't commit any crimes, did he? He was found innocent. And it's like, don't think you fully understand what found innocent meant. But you're gonna get that with Vince as well, if they ever did decide to bring him back, and they're gonna know that there's always going to be like percentage of the fan base that are gonna go with it. And what it seems like with the Brock thing, even though they probably know there's a big percentage of the fan base that are gonna react with disgust like we are, they're just going to push forward and go, so what? That's the way MAGA works. That's the way Trump works. That's Vinceism, to be honest, if anything else. So yeah, it wouldn't shock you at all.
And it's also going back to your point before there about like the settling in period with TKO, and now we're like 2 years in, and I don't want to obviously get away from the serious side at the same time, Ben. But this, I think, coincides with Triple H as a booker as well. Like this one saying this, and like the fact of it is at first they might have said to him, all right, yeah, you're front and center. Now he's always going to be front and center. He loves the camera. We know that. But it's like, all right, you do the thing. But like even this Unreal and all this coming in, and he's got to ask people like The Rock. He's like the fourth man choice. It sounds like he's actually getting told more now as well what to say, even though, but he's embracing it as well. It's a weird one, and it's affecting his creative as well at the same time, because
if he's even fucking still doing it,
this is what I mean.
Just for the cameras at this point.
This is what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know, Ben. It's it's a messy one.
He's a fucking shithouse, is what he is. Like, and the company is shithouses, and like you say, the whole thing with the presser just shows you exactly what they are. And it's not even like they get real questions, like you said there. We don't, probably what would have happened. They got one hard question about Brock from like one of the journalists with a conscience.
Yeah.
And then immediately somebody would be asking Triple H about DX, or they'd be asking about like, what's your dream match for Brock Lesnar to have going forward, or like, you would have gotten that. Like it's not it's that hard to fight off these questions, but they're still scared of even the softball questions. You see it all the time with Triple H, even the softball questions. Even to be honest, when it's up to him, when he, like they've done here where there wasn't a presser, but, they get to sit at a table and decide themselves what they're going to say, he'll still put his foot in his mouth. He'll still, like I say, rather than take responsibility for it or give any reason that like sits on the company's shoulders or sits on his shoulders. Oh no, John wanted the match. That's it. And that's the reason. I'm like, maybe John wanted the match. It wouldn't shock me if John wanted the match. I'd be surprised at this point in his career that he wants to get back in there with Brock Lesnar. But yeah, I'm sure the reasons are more detailed than that. What if John wants Vince McMahon to come? Somebody floated that today. What if John wants Vince McMahon to come back and be the guest referee for his last match or something? Just say yes to that. Maybe they'll just put it on Cena's shoulders there as well. But it's shithousery, isn't it? Like, and that's. Yeah. Ask Bret Hart, that's what Triple H has always been. He's always been a gigantic shithouse. But you see it in front and centre here.
It ties into Brock as well, but once again, not shying away from it. It's even like the like that press in front of the crowd, whatever they call it, the post show and all that. And the fans are chanting, "We want Cross." And all right, this is Cross we're talking about. And he span it like, "Yeah, we've got Brock." It's like, no, they're not chanting that.
Like he didn't hear.
Yeah, like he didn't hear it, and then it's putting like they listen to the fans, and I'm not the biggest carrying Cross defender, but like R-Truth comes back, he's getting the same amount of like groundswell of like fan support, and he's palming him off. So it's like, you know what I mean? He's playing one side again, but yeah, it's no good, Ben. The whole and that's what it is. It put a sour end to the show as well, like even from a creative, because and once again, sorry to go into, but even if like whatever about the real life stuff, I don't want to see him back, Ben. Even like there's no point for him to even come back and fight Cena. Like it's just a messy one.
That's the question, isn't it? Like it's not like there's any scenario where it'd be worth it, but like why is it worth it at this point in 2025 to do it? And like you're absolutely right. Like it just gave me a dirty feeling watching it. It just looked wrong. Like even to be honest, the stadium crowds, maybe that's part of it. The crowds weren't great, I don't think, over the two nights, but it did feel like that. It felt like there was the big pop initially, the big pop for the spot, but outside of that, it felt awkward, because I think most of us just felt a bit awkward and dirty watching it. Like, and again, like there's going to be people out there going, well, he committed no crimes. Like, I would push you, go to Brandon Thurston's Twitter, go to Post Wrestling, who've got a cracking write-up right now. Go anywhere, look at the screenshots that knobhead accounts are putting on Twitter, and again, using this as part of a culture war, but it's all there. I think it's like 44 times Brock Lesnar is mentioned in the Janelle Grant disposition. Like, his name is all over this thing. Like, it's the detail of, what he's alleged to have done here again might not add up to a crime. It might actually, if you look into what the crimes might be regarding solicitation, and depending on what happens with Vince McMahon and this case, where it could potentially fit in there. But like, just use your own moral compass. This is a woman who's alleged to have been sex trafficked by Vince McMahon, and again, we've seen all the harrowing details of it. We've read the harrowing details of it. I would have loved that if a press had happened, if somebody went. So Paul, mate, have you read it yet? I feel like if you're bringing Brock back, you must have at least glanced at it and read through it. But I feel like we at this point have obviously read more than he has, but you read the detail of it, and it's literally that. It's Vince McMahon using Janelle Grant as like a bargain. Janelle Grant, who, by the way, has a WWE corporate position at this point, using her as a bargaining chip for Brock Lesnar when they're going through contract negotiation, and Brock was pretending he was going to go back to the UFC, and and again, misinformation out there. Oh well, nothing happened. He never met her. No. There was 2 different occasions. One where I believe Brock was too pissed for anything to happen, and then another occasion where I think his flight got cancelled or something like that. Is detailed in the write up there. Like, it came very close to happen, and it is literally as sordid and dirty as it is described. It was Vince McMahon offering this WWE employee, who again he's alleged to have sex trafficked, to Brock Lesnar as some kind of prize or some kind of part of like his contract. You know what I mean? It's horrendous. It makes absolutely horrendous reading the detail of it, and obviously the images Brock is having to send enough to turn your stomach and stuff like that. But just the general idea behind it, like, it is again, for the people who want to argue, oh, this is Vince McMahon, it's not WWE. This is the bit that links WWE to it, is Vince McMahon using his position in WWE and a WWE employee in Janelle Grant to help him with contract negotiation with a WWE wrestler. And again, if you read, the complaint, the detail of what happens later in the night when Vince McMahon is pretending he's Brock Lesnar in bed and all of that stuff, is like, it got some laughs at the time, but like, it's horrendous when you read, Janelle Grant's side of it and what she went through. And yeah, she's a victim to Vince McMahon, but Brock Lesnar is complicit in all of that. And again, he is the connective tissue between Vince McMahon and WWE. So it's just balmy that at this point they would think they'd be emboldened enough under TK ownership to bring him back.
Well, that's what, like, you hit the nail on the head, Ben. It's this, we're bringing him back and we're just going to push through and just get to the other side. That's what their thinking is. But that's what I mean, man. Do you think anything will happen though after it? Like, I know a few sponsors pulled them, and the Slim Jim pulled out.
Sponsors, it's got to be, I know.
Something's, we'll give it another 24 hours or so. We'll see if there is any backlash to it or not regarding sponsors and all that. But is it, as you say, just left that sour, dirty. Even Ben, I was like, oh, this is like, this is, as I keep saying,
Batman isn't gone.
Dirty, it's dirty.
That's your thing. This is still that same company in every way, and it might get worse. Who knows if Vince ever comes back as well? But I've got to say as well, like Brandon Thurston again, just literally as we're talking here, just posted on Twitter, Janelle Grant spokesperson, saying that for far too long abuse was allowed to thrive under WWE's leadership. Absolutely. Instead of righting this wrong, WWE has done nothing to ensure those responsible are held accountable. This attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug will backfire. We look forward to the full set of facts, including those about Mr. Lesnar, coming out in the court of law where they belong. But in the meantime, we refer you back to Janelle Grant's updated complaint, which outlines in detail the abuse she endured by McMahon and others while employed by WWE. And like I say, Brock Lesnar is sitting right in the center of that. And from that statement as well, I did see some people going, oh, maybe a settlement's coming, and maybe that's why they feel confident enough to put Brock back on TV. Clearly not. Clearly not. We're not at that point, and clearly we're waiting for either arbitration or for Janelle Grant to get a day in court as well. So from you can't even logic it from that point of view. It's just the company wanted Brock back. They wanted the splash. They wanted headlines, and they've gotten it. Somebody said it on Discord today. All of our, even including this podcast, all of positive and negative talk is they're still talking about it, aren't they? And that's probably what they're doing tonight. They're going to point at the YouTube numbers, and they're going to point at the engagements and the amount of chatter, no matter what that chatter is, and say job done, because that's all that matters. And I know stinks of a desperate company to me as well. There's rumors of what's obviously Brock's been employed this entire time. They've been playing that big fat wage to him. Maybe somebody looked at the numbers and was like, we're paying him this much money to sit at home. Let's sort that out. Fuck the moral side of it, and fuck the the legal side of it. We just need to make that work. And obviously, there's rumors this week of potential WWE cuts coming. We've got WWE financials coming on Wednesday, which again might explain the timing behind this. But it all links together. Of like, again, we're looking at. I know you don't like hearing it in jest, mate, but like, feels like a desperate company right now. Feels like a lot of things are just throwing shit at a wall. You look at WWE and Real, you look at some of the creative decisions over the last while, you look at those Netflix numbers that I'm sure, as much as public facing, they're going to pretend everything's good. Again, this and all of those other things do tie together. The less serious other things, obviously, all tie together to paint a picture of a company that, as you put, going into SummerSlam weekend, this was kind of make or break for Paul Levesque, and I don't think he could have broken any more spectacularly, mate.
But this is it, Ben. But and once again, this is by no means sticking up for Triple H by any means. But it's just everything this year. It's since that debut on Netflix. It's like everything's been like against what he does, like that slow build. You know, we just to take the piss of how slow he builds his creative and stuff like that. But you know, this year, as I say, since that Netflix show, it's just been one creatively wise, one really bad thing after, or just not the way he does things. It's just something, as you say, it's just been off all year, and then desperate maybe, and they've always, I've seen this come out lately as well this weekend about like it's a moment thing, because even the SummerSlam video package was basically that comedian, I can't remember the guy's name, Drewski, I think it was, saying it's a viral
streamer
thing now and all the streamer, like
Twitch streamer, mate, come on, that goes.
Sorry, Ben, sorry, mate, but you know, we're a viral company in this, and they've always been that moment company, but for them to come out and fit into this once again, are we too old? Whatever. Once again, this is me going all over the place here.
I don't know, mate. I watch Kaiser Nat.
Yeah, well, there you go. You're the one keeping up there. You're the one.
I know who Cardi B is.
Flying the flag for us in certain regards with the modern stuff. But what it is desperate. I thought maybe, but even that, like, why Lesnar now? Like you're saying, if he's sitting at home and giving him this money, and they've realised that, but I didn't want to see him. Like 2 years ago, that Cody thing, creatively was good in what he was doing there. Why bring him back now? And it just doesn't make any sense. You've got
back to back Goldberg, Lesnar. They feel like Vince emergency buttons.
This is what. Yeah, it's just it doesn't make sense, Ben. In a way, it's weird. It's weird, mate. So
I think
only time will tell as well.
I think like I think even you, when it comes to and again, this is the lighter side of it, obviously the serious side over there. We'll see what more comes out. We'll see if there's more sponsor pressure. I hope there is. I really hope like people.
It'll only carry on then.
It should always be
appearances. Yeah, of
course.
How many appearances he's going to do?
If he turns up on Raw tonight, we don't know what time we're recording, but like maybe that pushes a little bit more complaint. It might get, like you say, a Slim Jim to listen. It was them who, pushed for, around the time Vince, all the stuff came out about Vince, and then other sponsors follow, and then that, was enough pressure to go on the company. So never feel like your voice is in vain when you talk about this stuff out loud. But like, yeah, like outside of the serious side of it, which I'm sure we'll talk with JP once he's back from his holidays as well. I'm sure there'll be more to come through the week. Again, the less serious side of it, the creative side of it. I don't want to hear that big nose cunt's name come up at the end of the year, mate. I'm serious. When it comes to like promotion of the year, we don't do Booker of the Year when we do the Grappies. We don't do Worst Booker of the Year. I might introduce it this year because I don't want to hear the name Tony Khan come up when we talk about Worst Booker of the Year this year. Like WWE. It's by a landslide, mate. Even you've got to admit, we're in August now. There's still plenty of the year to go. But like, it's been a shit show from the Netflix debut in January through to WrestleMania, which I know you had a great time at, and that's great. You had an amazing weekend. The audio's out there for everyone. But like, I think even in the cold light a day afterwards, you surprised me when you had plenty to critique about the show and the two nights, and especially that second night main event. And then the conversation became, well, SummerSlam will put things into place there, and we talked about it. The shits over schedule that they've put together over the last few months, and the fact that they just haven't managed to land it in between, and a lot of the stuff going into SummerSlam weekend felt undercooked, and then you come out of it, and I think that problem's even worse. And like I say, we're into August now. It'll be September soon, and like, yeah, that's Triple H's year, that's WWE's year, and coming off like, because I'm seeing it like people, our friends out there, like Ben swearing off it, Ben Moxham, or like a Tom, like swearing off it, like these are people who were so invested in WWE only a few months ago, who like had been turned around by like the better booking that I will even say did exist in 2023 and in especially 2024. Like all of that's been washed away, and you're seeing some even a lot of the hardcores, moral quandary aside, kind of go, I'm done with this till they sort this shit out. Yeah,
and it is right, Ben. It's like, but that's where like it's the wrestlers that are still kind of pulling me through, because the creative.
What company does that remind you of?
Yeah, exactly. No, but it was strictly just going on creative, like getting your shit together, planning things out. AEW has been, even though like I haven't seen all of it, obviously, but hearing you guys and hearing everyone else just say, right, because I used to joke, didn't I? Used to be the first to say, come on, AEW, what the fuck are you doing? But they have been. They've got everything in a row, what they should be doing. Whereas, as I say, WWE's gone away from that. And it's bringing your Goldberg back, fitting in, whether you agree with the Jey Uso thing or not. And they say it was never meant to be a long title reign, and it was never going to be a year title reign. I'm going to admit that. But even that fella, but getting back to Gunther to do the Goldberg, to get to this, the Seth fake injury, it's just all throwing shit against the wall, which is just, It's wild. It's just that my affinity to certain wrestlers and some of the wrestlers' performances, though, are still carrying Triple H through, and he's living on that. He is, and he's got to cling to that. He's got some, I'll say, still over stars. These are all big over characters, but they're not getting put in positions, and they should be in better spots. They should be wrestling better people. There's way more better things that they could be doing with each other. He's coasting at the minute, Ben. He is, and it's I'm not there creatively because it's my analogy of, sour taste at the end aside. My analogy of, I always say these 2-night shows, and I go back to the Jay-Z Blueprint 2 album or any double album. If you condense, the 2 nights into one album, maybe 6 or 7 matches, you've still got, for me, a good card. But then you should, if you're putting 2 nights on, they both should be good at the same time, shouldn't they? It's. But
again, like, we're not. I'm genuinely. I said it before. I'm not trying to turn this into tribalistic. WWE versus AEW. You can just only compare and contrast the two, can't you? And as you've rightly said there, you compare the different fortunes of the booking this year. It's a natural conversation that comes up when you're talking one going one way and one going the other. But we used to have that conversation about AEW. We still have the conversation about AEW when it comes to the long one-night shows. And I said, well, if you can condense that to 3 hours, it'd be better. But they don't. They book 2 nights, and they book 2 nights terribly. Like that, they laid 2 nights out terribly. We said it on Weekend Show, didn't we? Going into it, like, what was going on with all the fucking tags on night 1, and then all the fucking singles matches on night 2, and then we saw that coming to fruition. We saw that night 2, like gimmick match after gimmick match after gimmick match. Like every match, bar 1, was like no disqualification on night 2. It's just there is no quality control there right now, and it does feel like people's eyes are off. And no better example as our way into kind of talking like the big takeaways from the 2 nights than to talk this John Cena heel to face turn. Because what sums this up better, mate, than we did a preview on Thursday night where we previewed this show, and we talked about Cody Rhodes versus heel John Cena, and talked about all the ways heel John Cena might potentially beat Cody and what Cody could do to beat him, and talked about it all in that context. We sit here now, mate, on Monday evening, and the fucking everything about it had changed. Like Friday, to be honest, the day after, we'd have the conversation on Friday, it'd be a totally different conversation, to the point where I didn't even believe it. I was on our Discord. I wasn't like holding on to it going, oh, Triple H isn't that stupid. I'm sure it's a setup. Like, I was like, well, maybe The Rock will come back, maybe Travis Scott will come back, maybe they don't come back, but John Cena's just doing a setup for Cody Rhodes, and he's going to turn heel back on. The doubling down on it. They know it's not going well, and they know he's maybe lost a little bit of steam and a bit of heat. So let's double down on it, do something fresh. He sets Cody up. Cody does the whole Sting thing, and Flair turns on him again. That would be bad. That wouldn't be good creative. That would be mostly bad creative, but it would still be better than what has turned out to be the reality after this weekend. That we literally, what we saw on SmackDown was exactly what they were actually trying to do. John Cena went out there and cut a promo and was like, I don't fancy being a baby. I don't fancy being a heel anymore. I'm just going to be back to being a good guy now. Cody was right. Anyway, didn't mean anything I said. Let's have a good clean street fight on Sunday night. What a way to build your street fight. Let's just be mates. Let's have a little hug, and then we'll fight instead. And it did lead to actually a better match. I still didn't love it. Plenty to criticize about it when it comes to a match. But the conversation there is, well, that's probably why you probably shouldn't have turned Cena after all, because as far as as last year goes, you kind of wanted them playing the hits, the crowd wanted them playing the hits, and it actually, in hindsight, is very much his better role. But we can't go to the match first, mate. We've got to go to the booking first. This is all time bad. This is, I know you love Russo, but this is Russo in all the bad ways. This is just literally, and I think this is the thing that's pushed a lot of the hardcore Fev fans over the edge with this, is the last 6 months that you've been watching, even if you did enjoy it, even if you're the minority that enjoyed it, fuck you, it didn't matter. Seen as a babyface again. And that is literally what the segment was. I can't get my head around it. I can't believe it's real. I can't believe it wasn't a swerve. I really, even though, I'm saying, Triple H is the howler of a year, this is another level of a howler, mate. There is no justifying this. What the fuck has happened?
And I think as well, Ben, to start it there, I think it ties into the political stuff with The Rock and Travis Scott that they've had a fuck. I think it's just a fuck you to them.
I think Cena just went, nah, I'm going face again.
Sorry. Yeah, that was shit. We'll pretend it didn't happen, and we move on. It was, but this is where it's at. It is. It's because it's one of them, Ben. As you said there, that ending to WrestleMania will scar me for It'll not put a damper on what an amazing weekend they had, as you say. But I can't forget how bad it was being there. because even I was the high man on that match before all that shit happened. I thought, this is a WrestleMania. The fans, I'm in the midst of a sea of fans. We're in a WrestleMania main event. Like, that's what it was like in the building. And then that shit happened, and it was like, for fuck's sake, it was awful. And then since then, I got a kick. I've said this on the Spotlight a bit. I've seen her, you know, playing here, like selling and running away, just because it was different. I'm not saying it was amazing, it wasn't, but it was just different. And that's like,
I said it was crap week 1, mate. I'm a message board post. I always remember these things. I wasn't confident though. I didn't say it with a whole chest, did I? I was like, I'm not sure I like this, everyone, but everyone seems to like it, so I guess I'm wrong.
It's well, this is where it flips, because I think it's in the matches, I liked them. The promos were terrible. When he was here, they were shocking. You're speaking about Vinceisms, like each and every one of you and all that. That was terrible. Them promos were awful. Then you had the R-Truth stuff sprinkled in. You know, you say what you want about that. Where's R-Truth? You know, where's he on telly? That was just been dropped as well. And then, but then you get to this, Ben, and I agree with you. It's just been forgotten about. Terrible. As I think it's a fuck you to The Rock and Travis Scott as well. But I'm not, obviously this is not the point, but I think Cena, this is what I mean. You're right. He should have been playing if you're going to do the heel turn, you'd have a better way to come out of it, where you milk it more, where it's like he searches for himself and Cody brings out some better than they done. But I do think, like, on SmackDown, Cena was, and I thought he was absolutely amazing from start to finish at SummerSlam. Genuinely, like, from the minute he come out back with Stu, the cameraman, leaning on the announcer and getting his announcement in. And he was brilliant in the match. He was having the time of his life. It was like, even he was like, right, I'm fucking getting into this now. Showing the last like 3 or 4, 5 months has been, you know, not totally fucking worthless. And he got right into it. It was bizarre to see though, Ben. It's like, you can't ignore.
In isolation.
This is what we're saying. That's what I mean, in isolation. But we've
in isolation, the SmackDown promo was good, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. That's what I mean.
The way he delivered it, he felt passionate. You could tell he meant what he said, or at least it felt like he meant what he said, even if it was going to be a swerve down the line that I kind of thought. But you can't ignore just the creative bomb that's around it. Like, this has got to win. It's got to win all the worst ofs this at the end of the year. Like, sorry, mate, I was going to vote for Solo. In fact, I shouldn't say sorry. I said congratulations, mate. I'm not going to be voting for Solo Sikoa anymore. I'm going to be voting for these last.
That's right.
You say 6 months. How many months is it? 4 months, whatever the heel run ended up being. It's all time. It's Hater's legacy. Like, it is remarkable. And again, and this week, out 2010's John Cena was just coming out and going, I didn't mean it. Anyway, like, that's Cena in it. That's the problem everyone had with Cena over the years. That's the real him coming out.
Didn't matter. Yeah, that's what happened.
That's exactly what he always did. And he's done it here, like, on this stage. And again, you're right. We might be at the right place where we should be, but like, it does not excuse what we've gone through these last few months. It's unbelievable. I can't say it's strong enough how bad this is. Like, how it doesn't really happen anymore in wrestling, doesn't it? You pivot, you change plans, you come up with something, you cut things short. Tony Khan doesn't do it that often, but he started to do it more. That happens, that's fine. This is a pure just forget what you've seen before, and anyway, let's move on. It's almost like they did, and again, even the timing of it, like, you'd think they'd at least do it after the match. Maybe the Brock thing fed into that. Maybe they knew then. I'm sure they knew then, and they were thinking, well, we need Cena as a babyface going into the pay-per-view, so fuck it, let's turn him on the go-home SmackDown, which is never like the most viewed SmackDown of the year as well. Like, we'll just do it there. Like, the timing of it, again, going into a blood feud payoff with Cody, all of it, just so bad.
But Cody as well, Ben, if you watch it back now, because on SmackDown, like you're saying, when Cody's a bit like looking at him, isn't he? And I'm thinking, oh, Cody's not falling for this in character-wise. But even at SummerSlam, when Cody's got the pin in that, and Cody, Ben, he milks everything, he gets right. I think Cody's performance, because he knew how shit did, honestly, I think it was playing into that. Cody didn't give enough for me. And that's not having a go at Cody. I just think he was a bit himself. This is shit. The way it's been booked, shit. I think that played into his reactions, because he'd been milking it more, and he's obviously got the real life moment he said about of him passing the torch, which once again was a lovely touch at the end, which we all thought would happen anyway. Like, if Cody wasn't going to turn heel and just seen us getting turned back babyface, we'll have
organically in a few months.
But we got it there like this, and then I think that was real to Cody. But now I think he thinks this stinks as well at the same time, like creative wise. So you're right, it's a mad one, and it is going to be proper Men in Black moment, Ben. this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Put the thing in front of you, it did not happen. Won't be played on the video packages, will it? You know, at the end of Cena's career, it won't be mentioned, you know, by WWE going forward, probably.
John Cena turned heel, and we're all forgetting about it now. Like,
yeah, this is
momentous thing happened.
It fits into what I'm saying since Netflix. It's been over the show.
Exactly.
Trying to do this moment thing.
All in the videos, like, dancing.
Yeah.
You know, come to death row. I think that's how that quote ends. No, it is. It's like, it's the unprofessional side of it as well. That very clearly, and again, WWE and Real didn't bother telling you the real story, which was clearly there was friction between Rock and Triple H, and clearly they know now it was. This proves they know it was a bad idea, which is hilarious because they just aired the documentary on Netflix that tells you how great an idea it was. When again, the truth is, like they say, don't they, on WWE and Real, like Triple H and John Cena have the conversation. We'd have to fuck this up really badly for your last run to go, like to not work. There you go. They fucked it up badly. But, like, again, it feels on purpose. It feels passive-aggressive. It feels like they threw Travis Scott out in the WrestleMania main event to hit, you know, to send a shot at The Rock. And it feels like, you know, they've done this again to send a shot at The Rock. They've literally booked it badly to send a shot to The Rock. Like, it's all that political game that's happening backstage bleeding onto the TV, which is, like, again, if you're dealt this deck of cards, if you're dealt, you know, Rock fucks off, Travis Scott's shite, and you're left with just Cena as a heel, you make the best of it, don't you? And they didn't make the best of it, and that's the other part of it. And obviously, we do need to talk the match as well, but yeah, it's worth holding on. It is worth going into.
That's the one thing I've been consistent with as well, is this Rock Triple H, Ben. Like, it's fascinating to me how they're playing each other. Like, honest to God, it's
top 5 rivalries, mate.
I haven't watched the Unreal. Like, I will watch it. I will sit down and watch it. But I've just been put off by it. But it's from the minute The Rock come out on that Netflix, once again, playing that, like, letting on to Cody, when the last time we seen him, he was fucking laid him out, pinned him at WrestleMania, which went nowhere, pinned him at WrestleMania. So after Rock put one over on Triple H, and then, as you say, it's the turn elimination chamber, they all seem to be on the same page. That was obviously a Rock call. Sorry, Triple H call or whatever. I haven't seen the documents yet. Rock wants a Cody at first, whatever. You get to WrestleMania. Yeah, there you go. You get to WrestleMania, like you're saying, it's like, we have to follow the Travis Scott, but we'll see how he gets on without The Rock there. That was the worst of all time. And as you say, it's coming to this, knowing The Rock has got all these commitments with all these films and all the, you know, the release dates and stuff like that. It's like, well, he can't really come back and do anything. It's all a big political play creatively, but the creatives suffer for it. Do you think you're giving us this big moment? And as you say, isolation is probably the right word. They are, but you want to see it followed through. You want to see it have an ending. There's just nothing there. There's nothing there at all. I can't even say that. Like, I can't.
The We Tell Stories company. I want to see WWE Unreal about WWE Unreal now. I want the real documentary behind the documentary. Maybe that's the next level of it. Inception we get. But I mean, we should talk the match itself. Like, it sounds like you're higher on it than me.
Yeah.
To be fair, I got up early to watch it this morning. I'm not usually a man who gets up early, and I got into our Discord, and it was the most miserable place on earth, and everyone was fucking hating it. Which, again, the people you watch it with, I've been in rooms with you before, mate, where we're all hating the same match at the same time, and then you watch it on your own and go, no, it wasn't that bad. Or the other way around, you know, we've been in rooms where we've loved matches, and then in the cold hard light of day, maybe that wasn't as good as I remember there. But it felt like, you know, Twitter, for example, like I loaded my Twitter up, I couldn't believe how much people loved it. I'm more in the middle, definitely better than what we've had from Cena this entire run. For me, I think you know the analogy I'm going to come up with. It was a Kurt Angle match. It was, you know, all your kickouts, all your big moves, you know, 5 or 10. Well, it wasn't 5 stars, was it? That's the issue you have there. You know, there were spots I loved. Code Red on the outside. There were spots I hated. The cinema of, you know, Cena getting Cody up on his shoulders and coming up through the fucking rising gangrel stage, all of that shit. Like, but I can't deny they mostly had the crowd with them. People mostly seem to love it, and it's probably, in fairness, the best you're getting from John Cena. It's not to my taste, finish a spam for 25 minutes, Triple H Undertaker style, but what could they have done better with John Cena at this point in his career? We've seen him do considerably worse during this retirement run, even before he turned heel. So, yeah, probably as good as you're going to get, but I'm not going with anybody calling this the greatest SummerSlam main event of all time, or some of the stuff that is out there, but maybe you'll come closer.
I mean, we'll talk about the night one main event, which was more the divisive in that, like, it was like everyone went one way or the other. Where this, I think it pretty much is, like, I think Meltzer's even said it's one of the greatest matches in WWE history, didn't he? He went that far.
That's ridiculous.
But, yeah, no, but Ben, I'm not saying that. I echo everything you say. Like, John Cena here for me, like, honest to God, I couldn't believe what I was watching. because as we know, like he has been a bit of a letdown, hasn't he? Like I'm saying, even though I've enjoyed the heel side to a degree of little things, but he was so motivated here. It was ridiculous, man. This is the best he's been in about a decade. Since probably the AJ stuff. Honestly, I couldn't believe.
So 3 stars, yeah.
What? Come on.
I mean, I agree. I don't disagree at all.
Like this, no, the AJ matches were good, and we will see one of them on the upcoming phenomenal mixtape.
Oh, a decade ago, yeah. Great one.
Really don't go outside the ring. But no, honestly, Ben, this had everything for me. As you say, Cena motivated. It had that story, like it was the passing the torch. It was even the camp salute at the end. I got a kick out of that. It was so cheesy, but it's something Cody and Cena had come up with. All right, the fucking one through the entrance where I say Gangrel style. That was obviously a moment, viral, whatever you want to call it. Again, got a kick out to Cena's face at that. But it's just some of the spots, like the AA from one table to the other, because this new announce table, for me, I wouldn't be taking no bumps through this one. That looks like it hurts more than the old one. And that was a good spot. The Code Red, even Cena was having a laugh after that because he was laughing his head off, really. And I enjoyed him having a good time. Like, it reminded me of Ronaldinho playing footy, Benno, when he had the smile on his face. He actually had a smile on his face. And this is me, the most non-John Cena person in the world. But it had all that spamming which these two should be having. These should be having this typical WWE main event, taking the bottom rope off and all that, and Cody being all like, should I do it?
That felt like callback.
This is it. Honestly, I thought this delivered and then some times a million, Ben. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Genuinely, this was, loved it.
I mean, it was a 2010s plunder John Cena match, wasn't it? You've got much more time for those last man standing matches and all that stuff.
Yeah.
With mixed in, Monday Night Raw, indie Cena, like you say, with the. I hope I didn't call it an air crash then. I've done that before. Code Red. I'll lose my early 2000s indie streak.
Yeah, you will,
I keep doing that. Gotta get that right. But yeah, like. Again, your mileage clearly goes further. And also for me, like, I was watching it and I was watching that moment, like Cody saluting, going, all right, well, when's the turn coming? All right, well, okay. At some point, something's going to happen. Someone's music's going to hit, or Cena's going to hug him and then he's going to low blow him again. I was more just waiting for that. So I wasn't really buying any of it either. I wasn't buying the big near falls. I wasn't buying that, Cena's super finisher was finally going to be the thing to put Cody out, or Cody's super finisher was going to be finally the thing to put Cena out. I was waiting for the nonsense and it didn't come. So maybe if I didn't watch it with that mindset, maybe I'd have been, more open-minded to it. But I agree it was the best version it could have been of what it was. But yeah.
But it is, as I say, people have been going, like, everyone, like, as I say, I've seen Meltzer, Alvarez, a few others there online, like, just absolutely loving it. And it was, I just couldn't believe it. Because they had to right the wrong at WrestleMania as well. It was always going to be better.
If this was at WrestleMania, I think it would have been.
Oh, mate, yeah. Mate, I'd be still crying about it now if this was at WrestleMania then. But, we got it in the end, and yeah, it's that's what I mean. But like, obviously, once again, the serious stuff like overshadowed me. But like, no one's talking about Cody as the champion, even creatively. It's all the scene.
Cody Rhodes is the be champion again.
Again, yeah.
It's a big story, that.
It is. So, yeah. It is. It was. I loved it.
What happens with Brock and Cena, like coming out of it, like in the less serious elements of it? Again, the serious story is more important. But like, what are they doing? Like some kind of plunder match with them? Like, is Brock gonna kill Cena again? Like, what's what even look like in 2025?
Has he come back just to job to Cena like on the way out? I don't know. Like, don't know. Ben, is this Paris? Do we go all the way to Australia? I don't know.
He's not flying to Paris, is he?
I haven't even because obviously I haven't even put it together because once again, serious stuff is that I don't even want to see it creatively, Ben. As a lighter side, as we said, I don't want to. Honestly, I've got no interest in that match. I know, sure, like Cena's was great in this match with Cody, but I just don't want. We've seen it. I know he's playing the hits and he's facing all the people he's fought in his career, but it's not going to be nowhere near that 2012 Extreme Rules match, is it? Really, it's not going to be nowhere near that. So. Yeah, it's a messy one, but yeah.
We'll see what happens when we have the Vince McMahon on a pole match or whatever the two cunts do. And you know what? We shouldn't let Cena off. He's just as bad when it comes to Vince and stuff like that. Like, he'll never criticize him. He'll always go, you love people, all that stuff that he says about Vince as well. His hands are dirty as well, especially if you read some of what I've read on John Cena's and his personal life as well. Not as rosy as you would have you believe, but. We're getting the babyface John Cena through the end of the year.
Oh, Bella's better.
That's what we're
getting. Biggest heel of all time, really, on that. Like, and people are still playing the clips now. It was.
fucking weirdo with his like timings and stuff like that, and all of his weird rules with it.
We've all got OCD, but this was like you can't put like spill a drop of water and all that kind of shit. It's like that's just not normal.
Unbelievable. Well, there we go. We're getting the Cena babyface run that a lot wants. And we're getting Cody. I don't know what Cody's champion looks
like. What does Cody do?
Honestly, who's he work? He worked them all, didn't he? Like, I guess once the man we're about to talk, he's not carrying him again. But I suppose I wanted them to do, you know, a proper feud with Gunther. Maybe we'll get that once big / little Gunny is back, which is a hell of a segue into obviously the other major match of the weekend. And we'll go through the undercards as well, but we'll talk the main events first. And yeah, Punk versus Gunther, which was until Sunday the other greatest match in SummerSlam history, according to some, took place. I mean, we'll talk the match and plenty to talk. I think the spoilers here, if we ever get Gareth on record talking SummerSlam, which he did watch this weekend, the one thing he liked was the match itself, not so much the post match. But yeah, we do need to start there. And again, message board that never forgets, mate. Hamlet said the same thing, and I've seen there's a few of us, there's a small group of us. The leader of us is absolutely John Pollock, who was a friend of ours, of course, so we're always going to be biased to our friends over at Post Wrestling. But you know, the people who were doubting John and his reporting and saying other worse things about it should probably have a hard look at the mirror. People get things wrong in reporting, that's fine. But to act like John was being disrespectful when he was purely reporting what he'd been told, that this was a work from the start, just unbelievably disgusting stuff. But I don't expect anything less from certain websites out there as well. Gang of absolute cunts. But when it comes to that story, like I will say, I felt like I was in that club. I was, again, on our Discord the morning it happened, and just Hamlet said the same thing. It just looked a bit phony. You know, when you saw like Rollins kind of like selling the knee, and obviously, you know, the thing that was the fly in the ointment for a lot of people who it made them believe as well he wouldn't have lost to LA Knight. And I was, again, maybe I've spent too much time with Gareth. It just made it feel like even more of a work to me. But the crux of it was really the performance. And then obviously Pollock's report came out and wasn't really backed up by many. I believe Meltzer did back him up in the end. It felt more and more like very obviously a work. And you know, they're patting themselves on the back now, mate. Again, Unreal Season 2, you know, Becky Lynch and that little clip she did there.
I hated that.
You're all, see, don't believe what you read on the internet. It's like, no, you should believe what you read on the internet. You just should read the right places on the internet. That's what we should probably learn from this. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to go to the kayfabe of it. I guess it gave Rollins a half-second advantage because nobody was expecting him. I don't know. Felt like a lot of hoo-ha to get to a moment that, I don't know, I didn't personally want to see, and it's not like I personally wanted to see Punk crying crocodile tears over being the World Heavyweight Champion either. It was just, you know, the match I very much enjoyed. The post-match I very much hated, and that was Punk himself, and that was Rollins especially here as well.
But it's one of them, Ben, and I got this off Crewy the next day, and I had to agree with him. It's like, how does it make sense in the storyline? Unless he was just going to cash in on anybody, because Punk went the #1 contender when he done this.
He wasn't even #1 contender at the time, you're right, yeah.
Are they going to spin this round? That, like, all right, whoever it was, if the only way they can say it is if whoever was the champion at SummerSlam, I was going to cash in. But it only makes sense with it being Punk, though, doesn't it? Because it's the feud. So it's a load of shit from that regard as well. It's awful from that regard. It was done before Punk was even in the match. And LA Knight, like, obviously, once again, these are wrestlers people don't like out there, really. But he's been lost. He's been fucking buried in the shuffle here. Like, what? He wasn't on SummerSlam. He's still, to be fair to him, and I've always stood up for him, and I think you have to a degree, but you might like him. He stayed over in all this time.
I respect people who get over.
No, he genuinely like them. He's still over.
Like Jey Uso.
You're cutting his leg. You're cutting his legs off. You're not giving him it. Like he should be on SummerSlam. If anyone should be out of the roster, so you're cutting him off. It just screams. I don't know, Ben. It's just all over the place. And once again, you take all that away. The match I thought was great. Like I did. This is what I'm saying. It's like the wrestlers, and I mean, it might sound a bit like rah-rah speechy, but it's the wrestlers that are getting me through this, Ben. Genuinely, them two main events did deliver for me. Genuinely did. Couple of the other undercard matches, which we'll go into, did. But I thought these two main events were fucking great for different reasons. And it's just getting people like, all right, Brock Lesnar aside, getting people talking again about like these matches, whether people liked it or hated it. It's like, all right, it's divisive. And that's what it should be about as well, I think so. But the match was great. And especially the ending, like Punk playing that. Well, I want to know your takes as the Punk guy, though, Ben, really. Wasn't you into it?
I hated it. I hated Michael Cole's commentary call.
Yeah.
Again, the AW erasure of it. What did he say? Something like, from 10 years of bitterness to this. And Punk's trying to pretend like winning the fake world title means this much to him. Like, it's just so phony for a man who, the way, as you've rightly said, the work was always that he was the punk rock guy who, you could believe in wrestling. It turned out to be as much of a gimmick as anybody else, but it was a believable gimmick. That's why it worked. Like, I do not believe there's any bone in CM Punk's body that gives one fuck that he won this fake world heavyweight title. Not that any of the belts are real, but you know what I mean? He hasn't won the WWE belt. He hasn't won the actual world title. He's won this fake belt, and he's crying fake tears that are very obviously fake to set up the endless feud with Seth Rollins. It's going to go down as one of CM Punk's longest feuds he ever had in his career, and like none of it's been good and none of it's been memorable, but it's been fucking long, which is again maybe it's a slight pushback on the matches. Same thing for obviously the night 2 main event. For me, it was just 15 minutes too long. This was maybe close to 10 minutes too long for me, and it was that second half again. I hate that it's coming up in every conversation, but again, Gareth said the same thing. I can't watch these WWE matches anymore without thinking of some fucking knobhead agents on a headset in WWE Unreal going, just sell it more, Punk. Look like you're crying a bit more, Punk. Punk, got a great idea for you. Just sit. Do nothing for 3 minutes. Let the noise tell the story in the cinema. And there was so much of that in the second half of the match that they did lose me, and especially in the post-match with Punk as well. But like the first half did feel like they weren't listening. The work became a shoot. Sure, Joseph Park was pulling his hair out of his head backstage. But like, yeah, Punk was literally, it was a Brett match, wasn't it? For the first 15 minutes, I want to hear you and Gareth go back and forth on it, full retro style. It was like proper vintage, and I believe Brett enjoyed it as well. Proper vintage Brett performance. Though Gunther was fucking brilliant, and I don't love the tail end of the match, but Gunther's performance in the last 90 seconds of the match is like the big baddie finally going down. Superb stuff, like absolutely superb. And Gunther's definitely my favorite wrestler in WWE. CM Punk used to be. We'll see going forward, but like they had magic there. There was chemistry, and again, the way they worked the first half of that match was just like it didn't feel like I was watching WWE for 15 minutes, and that's the highest praise I can give a match. Second half, it really felt like I was watching WWE. Post-match, it was the WWE I hate, but there was definitely something there. I just wouldn't go as high as everyone else.
Yeah, I did. I loved it just for like it was that hard in this, but that's what I'm saying. There was a couple of matches as well over the weekend. Parts, mate. Yeah, that was like it did look like a rehearsed dance, Ben, in some way, like in some of these matches, and I like that. They weren't botching, don't get me wrong, but it just looked a bit awkward. But I like that. It shouldn't be like a dance and a ballet.
That's always been Punk, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's what Punk is. Well, yeah, exactly. And there was a few. If you want to critique it, like proper critique, there was a few bad. Like there was a couple of botches that Gunther missed, like a fucking stomp on a hand that weren't meant to happen. There was a few little things, but for me, it added to it because, as you say, it's that like they're going for it.
Grittiness. And it was about the selling, wasn't it? It was about Punk selling. It was about Gunther getting cocky. It was telling the story of Gunther losing the title. I think, it was so good.
The bombs, the lariats, everything coming into the end, and like, you're saying there, the end Gunther was unbelievable. Like he was from the minute he got swept on that announce table and come up with the busted nose, which plays into the real life story. Wasn't it that Meltzer reported that he's taking time off to get his nose fixed and stuff? So, but the two GTSs, the way he took them was just brilliant as well. Just the selling and just the, as you say, the big boss gone again there, and Punk getting a big win, and then.
This is the way you should lose, mate, not the way they had him losing. Again, taking too much time playing with his food, like that's the Gunther story, isn't it? Like it finally caught up with him. Punk just held in there, and Punk's for his side, for the selling and for all of that was brilliant. As far as like telling that side of the story, it was unbelievable. It really was. It was like watching years ago SummerSlam. It was the most Brett I think Punk has felt in this WWE run.
And he was trying to get them pay homage to the Mr. Perfect match when he was reversing the sharpshooters and stuff like that. The leg shots, all that was in there.
He goes too far sometimes.
He does.
He's just trying to please dash watching at home, innit? A little wink and a nudge to the camera.
Sledgehammer to the fucking top of your head stuff in it, subtle wise. But it is. I loved it, and even the aftermath, Ben. Like, all we know, all the side, it was aware and stuff like that. I think it's all right, the Seth and Punk feud. It's gone on, don't be long, way too long. And as someone said, fucking Seth lost the first match, didn't he, on Netflix? So it's kind of like, and I'd always had to turn heel in the process and take his best friend away from him. And I'm not retconning this, Ben. This is the way it's happened. And I still do like it. I do. It's a long story, and I know the Punk, long termers like yourself won't, because it's Seth as well, and I get all that. I still do think it's good and will enjoy it, but it's even that though, Ben. It's like going into like the conversation.
Punk and Gunther not have had the 2-year feud instead?
But this is it.
Battered each other for 2 years. I'd be well more into that.
But it's like
Punk Joe, but with Gunther.
It's creative.
Couple of hour draws.
Creative wise, though, Ben, it ties into that for me. And I know Seth, still is. I don't think he's 40 just yet, but he feels like he's been around. He has been around for like 12, 13 years. So like another Seth Rollins world title run is
longer, mate. I remember the Tyler Black years. It's like 2 decades for me.
But it's like it doesn't fill everyone with excitement. I get that. And that's what I'm saying. Like you're saying before, Goldberg's come back. All right, that was actually his retirement, to be fair, but he's still come back. You've got Brock back now, Cena with his retirement. It's kind of like the clinging on to these old stars, like Vince again, where it's like you've got a roster full there. And I know, once again, LA Knight, not everyone's cup of tea, and he's old in his own right, but at least he's fresh. Go with some of these, you know what I mean? You've got Cody to bounce off. You've got, all right, Roman now and then. Jay's been clear. There's so many people you can actually do stuff with. You don't need it. So that's what I'm thinking about next year. I know Bron Breakker's seen as the next one, Ben. But it's like, come WrestleMania next year, if we thought this year's was fucking rushed and all over the place with The Rock, etc. I always just look forward to that, thinking, what's the Mania matches? You can't even envisage any of them, because Cena will be gone. You think Brock will be gone. It's going to be, I don't know, mate. I have to think that far ahead. I just always go to Mania. That's how I see things.
Well, he's not. Triple H isn't, me.
Yeah,
not anymore.
He's not. He's going literally fucking week to week. But yeah, I did. Overall, I had a great time watching the 2 main events. I thought they delivered in different ways.
They both saved their respective shows, I would say.
He did.
Even if I had problems with both of them. But
he did.
100%. And again, I probably go like 3.5, probably on Cena Cody. That might sound harsh, but I go about 4 on Gunther and Punk. Maybe the Benno Classic 3.75, but I'll give him like the most. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt of the 4. And again, it'd have been higher if I'd have been more in love with the second half of it. But again, interested to see what happens going forward, and obviously see how long Gunther's out for as well. And we'll hopefully circle back around to it again. I want to see rematches now. I want to see Punk and Gunther. That's what I'm looking forward to going forward. Not more Punk and Seth, but we're getting it regardless. But like we said there, I think the 2 main events, at least the 2 positives you can say about the shows. There's some positive in the undercard I'm sure you're going to pick out, but plenty of negative as well.
Plenty of negative as well, though, Ben. Yes.
Night 1 was the night of the tags. If we continue along that route, haven't talked Punk and Gunther. Did we go to the what you thought was going to be the main event? I think you said on the weekend show, mate, which was main event Jay once again curtain jerking, with your feel good opener. I'll let you say the nice things first, mate. I'm sure you had a great time. I'm sure you felt good at the end of it.
Absolutely loved this, Ben. And I knew going in it wouldn't be the main event. That's why I put it at the billing on the weekend show for everyone listening there. I did. And as people say, it's standard though, Ben. If you're not going on first, not last, you go on first, don't you? That's what I'll say. But it is though.
Since when?
Come on. AEW does it as well, Ben. They send the big guns out early as well. They never open with...
For TV ratings points of view,
insert undercard. They put a big match on first pay-per-views. They do usually. Someone starts off.
Not the biggest star in wrestling, Roman Reigns, and the most over main events in wrestling, Jey, so,
Yeah, but it sets the tone. It was meant to set the tone, Ben, for the show and for the weekend as well, isn't it? But no, I had a great time. This was. But I thought Roman, and I've seen Ibu say this as well. The 4 times he's wrestled this year, it's not a lot. He's put a shift in. He fucking has, and it's. But then me and Amphlett were talking about this as well.
Sorry, how many times?
4 times he's wrestled. Yeah. But at the same time, even I've said it though, Ben. I've said it on here. I've said it to Amphlett. And he said it. You could do this when he's a heel champion. It plays into the gimmick of I don't have to turn up. When you're this baby face now, it doesn't fly.
100%.
There's no they don't even put him out anymore. Like a spear after WrestleMania, put him out. They're not going to put him out tonight on Raw. He's taking time off after doing the fact. Just have videos filmed for something for tonight to give something as a follow up. Even I'm begging for that.
But that's my issue with it. You know what I'm going to say. I said it on Weekend Show. If you've only got him for that number of dates, you only got him for that number of matches, you should be doing something more substantial than this. I get it. This is fan service for the likes of you who've been so invested in this. And just seeing, didn't matter who the work, and you got to see Jay and Roman tag. Like, if this was a house show tag, you'd have gone home just as happy. And it kind of was in a lot of ways, but you know what I mean? That's what it was. You got to see them yeet at the start of the match, and you got to see them do a couple of double teams, and you got to see Roman save Jay and, take the bullet for him and all of that stuff. Yeah. That's all for you. That's all fan service, and I'm glad you're at a good time, and there's a place for that in wrestling. But Roman Reigns is, if not the biggest star in WWE, I don't think he is. I think it's Cody, but I know you do. So let's say he's joint one.
Biggest star though, Ben, is he? He's not. No, Cody's quite, as
not.
You said,
that's
when the Hogan tributes and all that, he was at the front, like you said on the Weekend Show. It's right though. I think Roman knows this, and that's why he was playing that card week about resigning and do the month. Something's in there.
But he's still Roman Reigns, though, isn't he? Like,
of course
I'm glad you agree with me. I'm glad you're finally with me. And, he is the 1B to Cody's 1A. But let's say they're both 1A. For argument's sake, let's say it's the modern Rock and Austin, and that hurts me inside to say. But let's go with that. The modern Rock and Austin. You've got to have Rock or Austin, whichever one Roman is. I guess for you, it would be Steve, doing something more substantive than this on SummerSlam. Like, it's according to you, second biggest weekend of the year, mate. I disagree, but that's what it is. He should be doing something bigger than this. He should be in a prime singles feud. He should be doing something that can actually make them some money if they're so desperate for money with bringing Brock back. I think it's just a few notches beneath him. And again, lazy booking. It just screams, fuck him. We'll put him with Jay. We'll do a tag. Maybe, and like you say, they'll get to the Braun Breaker match, the singles match.
That's got to be WrestleMania. Well. It's got to be.
This was the Raw tag to get to the SummerSlam match that was Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker. I think that's a Triple H hallmark where it's just like, you've got two big main events. We don't need to, put Roman in something big as well. I would argue you do, especially for, your second biggest weekend of the year.
But that's where it is.
For that company.
It's a bit of both there, isn't it? It's like, is Roman really going to push back at that he's working, as you say, in his head, in my head, in everyone's head. That's what, no, but he's working with the family, it's carrying on that story, etc. Is he really going to go to Triple H and go, well, that, when he quite clearly probably does know that Cody is his 1A, as you're calling it. So that's where it's a bit tough, and he should be in bigger matches. I get what you're saying, but then
in fresher surroundings and doing OTC 1 and leaning on Bloodline Law that. It was 18 months ago, you know what I mean? Let's move on.
But they're the type, though, Ben, and they're never going to change. What you're going to say about that, I can maybe agree with you when it comes to Solo and Jacob, which might shock a few people when we talk that.
We're getting there tonight too, in a
with Roman's going to be, since he come back, Ben, like in 2020, he's never just going to change. He's always going to be involved with that in his mind, and I love it. It's just going to carry on, whether you disagree or not. I don't think he's ever going to pivot to something completely out of there. He's going to finish his career this way, I think, and that's I'll be happy with that. And as you say, the fan service, WWE fans will be happy with that. But I agree what you're saying overall, your main event wise. But then he's not around to promote them as much, etc. A lot of things do come into it. But this is it. But he's not, is he? He's signed this deal, and the company have allowed it. So this is what you get with it. I want to see.
I've always said it though. They should be better with using his dates. You've got to be. I guess you've got to game it out, and you've got to figure out like how you can make the best use of him. And I don't think they do.
But I don't think he's checked out because, as I say, his performances. Like I know they have. I think he's been more. He showed obviously he's playing a baby face now. So when he's the heel, he can't be like flying around and ultra dynamic when he was playing the heel champion. So he's going to be selling more and milking it a bit more. But I think he's been motivated. Honestly, WrestleMania main event, I thought that was great. He looked good in that. He looked good in this match. You know, the dive. I couldn't believe that. Fucking doing that fucking swanton to the outside practically. That was a great spot. Good to see him doing that. But he looks great, and he's still energetic in there.
He always looks great. I'll give you that.
Yeah, always. The 1D Ben taking the bullet, like you said before, for the finish and all that. Love all that kind of stuff. But
also Jey Uso was there. Yeah, that's a tough place.
Once again, though, and this is where I'll defend it. He should be doing more, though, Ben, as well. I know he's in there, but he should be doing more. And he kind of got sacrificed in my eyes for Goldberg coming back. So it's a tough one. People say, well, he's Goldberg's biggest star.
Well, also because he wasn't delivering as the top guy, he's the top guy and all those things.
In the ring, which it does matter. I know that, but everything else, he ticks every box. But we'll see what happens. I hope he just doesn't get lost in the shuffle now, Jay. I really hope he doesn't.
Well, speaking of people who do over deliver in ring, we do need to talk the celebrity tag from night one. You know what? I was off the Logan Paul train. He put in a shift here with Drew McIntyre against
he's been
Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. Yeah, I'm leaning into the whole these pretenders and all of that stuff.
Hilarious.
And even Drew having chemistry you wouldn't have thought they'd have. You could tell there's definitely parts of a Drew that was dying inside, having to kind of be in this match and be in this feud. But this match, it felt like he was eating it up, and he was eating up being Logan's partner. And yeah, Logan seemed motivated for not that he hasn't seemed motivated the last while, but it definitely felt like the bloom's been off the rose, hasn't it? And this was reminded you a little bit of why we were all like, oh, he gets it, that lad. It felt like, at least for this night, you could see him, him getting it again.
But Ben, this is what I've said on the build up to this, and this is where I hope people this has been built up, boss. It has. It's just a shame that it has to involve the celebrities. I get what people mean by that. You can be doing this and putting as much time in and as much creative in with some members of your roster, but it has. The whole thing's been built up brilliant, and it revolves around fucking. I just can't stop saying his name when he comes out. Jelly Roll. Listen to what I'm saying.
Swiss Roll, as we found out.
Jelly Swiss. What I found out, Ben. I
mean, I googled it. But it is literally a Swiss roll. People who missed it. That's what a Jelly Roll is.
But it did deliver. And I know it had all the Jelly Roll doing the Mick Foley and fucking Shawn Michaels coming back to save the day from getting fucking splattered. But it is, you've got to laugh at it.
He put the effort in, he's trying.
What he is, he's trying, but he's not like a Logan Paul where he is a natural, or even a Bad Bunny, dare I say, where you can tell the more athletic. And I'm not, not obviously picking on the size and such, because he's done well to lose the weight. But it was just one of them. I had a laugh watching it, from Claymore by fucking Drew to Orton on the outside on the table, and Jelly Roll just being emotional. It was just a laugh, Ben. Genuinely one of them old school celeb matches, and but I was shocked where the heels won. To be fair, I thought Roll Orton would have this, but yeah, it's Logan Paul and Drew with the win. So yeah, wild. But and also, as you say, he doesn't need enough every match, but it's impressive that splash Paul was off the post. Yeah. Fuck me.
It was one of the better ones too.
Jesus Christ, how does he get that height and fucking spring off nothing, really? You're on a fucking post. Unbelievable. But yeah, but I can see why people would say it's fucking Jelly Roll, put a bit of fucking creative into your wrestlers. Because it had been built up great. I thought it really built up well. And it delivered on the night more so for me, because look at who's involved, fucking Jelly Roll. So yeah, I had a laugh watching it.
Travis Scott, it could have been you, mate, but hey ho. Other highlights from night one before we move to night two.
Not really much, Ben. Yeah, not really much. Just I'm enjoying the Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Our friends, odd couple tag team. I thought that turned out to be a pretty little decent match as well by the end, where they done the Alexa Bliss, got the miscommunication and laid Charlotte out. And it was nice at the end, because I thought, oh, fuck's sake. I fell for it. I thought, for fuck's sake, they're going to split them up without winning the tag and get to the feud already. But I'm glad they didn't, and it played into the finish, where she obviously didn't retaliate on Bliss and took Raquel out. So I enjoyed that, and I'm glad it was the right call. Organically over, Alexa Bliss is doing the carrying regarding that. But Charlotte, it is nice to see, especially for me personally being a fan, getting organic cheers for once in her life. And all right, by default with Alexa, as I say, but it is nice to see. So, yeah, thought that was pretty decent. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, no, not at all. Not into that one bit at all. Like the thing they done on Raw, bit of a different sit-down promo, enjoyed that. The match was never, he just looks clumsy, Kross, and not even in a punk way where it's it plays into the match. He just looks like he's tripping over his feet a few times in the match. Not into that. Jade v Tiffy was probably as okay as you're gonna get, but it was still under-delivered for me. Surprised Stratton went over, but then you think, like we were saying a week ago, are you surprised Jade's not ready? As you say, is she ever going to be ready? So you've got all that, but I thought it was all right. It was okay. It wasn't a stinker, but it wasn't great. And that's pretty much it, Ben. We think we've covered a
lot of mid. Those last three matches there, mate. A lot of mid. And that was
I
the problem with that one.
Yeah,
there was a lot of fluff there that didn't need to be on. Like Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross could have been a SmackDown match, couldn't it? It really could. And the Lottie story, I know you're into it, but again, SmackDown tag stunk of it.
But that's what I mean. That's where it differs on night two, Ben. Sorry to jump there, but everything was probably built up better. But obviously, one match in particular really let the side down universally across the board. So, do you want to go in? Come on.
Let's get into it. I hope you're talking about what I think you're talking about, mate, as we get to the singles night. I don't know. Who's the sacred cow we're sacrificing this week? Is it have you finally turned around on manager of champions Solo Sikoa?
Oh, no, never,
no. Jacob Fatu here? Is that what you might be saying?
We'll start off with that because we've got to, because we're talking, but...
It's crap, wasn't it? Horrendous. Really bad.
See...
Really bad.
I don't think
this was not a cage match. This was nonsense.
That's a strong word, horrendous. But no, it wasn't great. And once again, you're wasting the gimmick, really. It's meant to keep them out, and we all knew they were going to come in. So it's wasting your gimmick.
Gang of fucking jobbers.
Yes, but then the lovable, now me and Hamlet were talking this, the fucking lovable lads, they are better. They're just so fucking shit that they're good.
Yeah, so was Vincent and Horace Hogan.
You know, Solo's, I do think, and it's not a bit on the, I think Solo has improved all round. He might be the greatest wrestler. He's got a spot though, Ben, and he does get heat. He does. I'm for that.
Not a US champion who beats Jacob Fatu. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I said he'd win. I knew he'd win because I called it. Jacob was never getting this. I think he's just going to have, because Jacob doesn't need this title again. It's got to figure out a way to end this storyline where he doesn't win this belt, keep it on whoever, and get to something Royal Rumble WrestleMania time, which hopefully they do. But yeah, but it is just the fact that once again, it was a great moment. Can't he have the moonsaults in the match? And then, like, get you on.
Well, he wanted you to get out the match, didn't he? That's
exactly. Why do you want it after the match? It's just for the moment. Again, it was a great. Tonga Lower ate shit on that. That's how you catch someone. Like,
good on him, to be fair. He probably didn't mean it, did he?
That's what I mean. That's why he's lovable, though. He didn't mean to take it like that at all.
Gotta give him a chance, haven't we, mate?
No, he's shit. He's shit. But he just, anytime he runs out, you'd expect him to do something wrong, and it just laugh me head off. It is what it is. Talatonga, I don't know. I'm not putting the jury out on him yet. We'll see if he improves or if he ever gets there. But Jason Matteo's just a scrub at the minute.
Tonga Lower's always seen it, and he hasn't.
Okay, he's young enough.
For those who have been watching him this
whole
time.
I'm just saying. I'm not. Jason Matteo is a scrub. He's a body. He's just a guy on the roster. Fair play. In a paycheck. Tonga Lower the same. New Japan too. Tonga Lower the same. I don't know why they signed him. There's more. I'm never turning on Solo, Ben. He's improved me. I love him. And Jacob is going to be, hopefully, once he gets out of this, story, pushed into the main event.
He's above this.
Yeah, he is. No, he is. But he's done nothing. All right, Strowman aside, which is the typical beat a monster to get the new monster over, which was good. What he hasn't been outside of this universe yet in WWE. It's going to be weird him just seeing him front Cody or front Gunther or whatever. He's had a few stare downs with Priest and whoever, over the months. But get him out of there. Get him in like proper, as you say, get him in feuds now. If you're going to push him to the top as the world champion or whatever you're going to do with him, he does need to get out of this, Ben, because I even for me, I'd see it all day, but it's like, how many times can you just have him, like Big Jim and him running in to save the day? Yeah, I love it, but it's even on SmackDown with the cage stuff, it's like, lads, we have seen how many times you're going to save each other. Get to a match, get to a multi-man, then move on.
In kayfabe, yeah, where were Roman and Jay? Like, I know nobody wants that feud to carry on, but where were they? Why is it just Jim? Why is it just him?
Oh, he's on SmackDown, better there on Raw at the minute. That's what it is.
All right, invisible force field that stopped.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
I suppose it is. No, this was terrible. It was literally, I saw somebody call it a parody of a wrestling match, and it stuck with me because it's 100% true. Like, that's what it was. It was an angle. This was the angle. This was like a Raw angle. It was a blow. Where you set up the cage match, where it's an actual match, but Solo Sikoa can't carry a match, so they did this himself. Which again begs the question: why has he got the fucking belt? Like, it's just, and again, it's only the WWE United States Championship, so I shouldn't get so wound up about it. But everyone can see the potential in Jacob. The world can see it. The one bit I agree with is, he needs to get out of this universe, and he needs to get out of it fast. And we still need to, work out exactly who he is. Is he the wacky man who does flying stuff? Does he wear his silly mask? What exactly is Jacob Fatu? But I think we'll find that more.
I'll tell you what he'll do.
He's still a magpie. He's still grabbing lots of different things and throwing shit at the wall, and it's not all working. But I think it will. I still believe.
But I think, did I use the word, Ben? I think his aura and his personality, because I think they're going down the route, what I've read as well and what you see on telly, he's organically over, but they turn him into that typical one-on-one babyface in a way with the catchphrases, but it's just him delivering it that's keeping it like cool
authentic
at the minute. They're good with all these different states t-shirts as well. This is proper Cena 101, stuff or like printing off all this shit with lines and that. He's still just now, Ben. We're still clinging on. He's still carrying it. Do you know what I mean? I hope it doesn't go too far out of this when he gets out of this universe. That's one of the only reason I want him to stay in this, because he can bounce off them scrubs and like be okay. And do you know what I'm saying here? Once he gets out there, he could turn completely the other way, and I don't want to see that. I really don't want. Hope they don't go that way with him. So. Yeah, but I believe in him, and obviously, he's just
seems like a cracking bloke. Everyone wants the best for him, don't they?
Exactly.
Let's hope he figures it out. But we'll keep very briefly. We'll keep a bit of a positivity.
We can't be briefly on positivity. We can't speak brief about the negativity coming up in a minute. But come on, what do you want to speak positive?
Well, I think we can be brief because it's a TLC match, and TLC matches are TLC matches, and bumps.
Oh no, but then this was wild. This was wild for me, mate. Mate.
It was all right.
I'm with you.
Sorry, I said I was going to be positive. No, it was. It was
different.
Look, we're all worn out, aren't we, on these types of matches? We've all seen them all to the point where how hilarious was it having the Hardy Boys sat front row and Dudley Boys like, oh, you like this? Guess what? The old men are doing a tribute to it at TNA in a few weeks. To be fair, there's TNA getting something out of the relationship, but it just proves the point that we've seen these matches a million times. What I will say is we haven't seen these spots a million times. There was some good creativity here, especially from Phoenix and Andrade and Fraxium as well. You could tell they seen this as like their moment to shine, didn't they? Even Gargano and Ciampa weren't terrible here as well. I just think for me, I've seen so many of these matches, even recently, that it can only move me so much, but it still moved me more than I expected. Look, that was the positive thing I was going to say. Like, I did overall have a good time, and yeah, there were some gnarly spots in this one. You're not wrong.
I thought like it was just typical at the beginning, but once they done the 4 spots in a row in the tables, like even did swinging DDT to Gacy because it didn't go through properly. It looks weird, and you forget about Joe. He's up for a bump. We didn't mention him the other night because he's in the Wyatt 6 gimmick. That like he's up well up for it. Even some of
you
the
haven't been on pay-per-view, mate. The 18 months they've been knocking around, or whatever the number is. Suit will tell us on Wednesday.
But even I'm sure he will. Even the chair shots that Gacy was taking, the flat line of his chair, he was taking it with some oomph. It weren't just shite usual WWE stuff. But then like fucking the frog splash was amazing to the floor. Then the Spanish fly, Ben. I mean, fuck me.
Yeah,
that
was so close to the guardrail as well.
Oh, Jesus. And then Candice LeRae through that ladder. Fuck, and we've all seen the PWG stuff, so I knew she was up for taking stuff, but fucking hell.
That's why it was too much for me, though. That was like, remember the TLC match when Rhino and Lita got involved? It was Spike Dudley was on the Dudley side. They were obviously playing off that, but like, it was like, we've got enough people out here. I don't think we need another 3.
But even Ciampa, with that core stamp, when like I thought, oh shit, they're gonna do like a fucking spear because the tribute with Edge, and then when Ciampa fucking swung himself up that core stamp, what a spot that was! I hadn't seen that before. That was fucking good stuff. And then the 4 tables that DIY went through together, that was good. And even Uncle Howdy, to be fair to him, taking that fucking sunset, exactly, Jelly Roll and Uncle Howdy, Benno, on the same weekend, and that slingshot powerbomb onto the ladder, he ate shit on that one. And fair play, and then obviously didn't expect the Whites to win, but we got that. But it was as you say, for a modern like ladder / TLC match, it delivered on the spot for me. It wasn't just your usual, so I had a laugh watching that one.
Shame the crowd didn't really care, but yeah, they were up for the big spots. At least they got that on them. Well, speaking of the crowd not caring, is this the sacred cow? Is it the one? Because we've been too positive for the last 10 minutes. AJ Dom, is that where you want to?
Oh no,
go next.
That was.
Let me say that one then.
That's your sacred cow, isn't it? Yeah, go on.
I mean, I'm not going on my Eddie Guerrero rant.
You know, though, that's why you hated it, though, Ben, be honest.
Every week I'm having to clarify this now, aren't I? One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but he's still overrated by people who only seen a sliver of his career. I think that's a fair statement to say. But yeah, this was the match of the sliver of his career. Literally AJ wearing the gear, him and his fucking weird son doing the little shimmy with no rhythm whatsoever, and then going out there with Dom and literally doing an Eddie Guerrero tribute match. Like, I mean, is AJ hurt or something? Like, I know, again, Dom is probably my favorite utility player in WWE. He's not my favorite wrestler. Like, and again, point of wrestling is wrestler matches, and wrestler matches aren't the best, but there's always a spot for somebody like that on your card. He offers something different. You know, you can have, not everyone even I'm saying this, not everyone needs to be Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. I'd like it if everyone was like Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega personally, but you want your people who can
Boring,
offer you
though, isn't it?
something different. You can offer your variety show. Dom does that. He entertains me wildly, even when he's needling CM Punk, which feels like a work, but it could turn into a shoot if he
I
says
could
the wrong
do a
thing.
real fight
The stuff
scene,
about Mickey Gall was very, very funny this week. I'm a big fan of him as a person. I just really like Dom. I think he's great. Really enjoy him. And maybe that was the thinking. AJ was like, "Oh, we'll do a shtick match because it'll lean into Dom's strengths." Nah, mate, this wasn't it.
I
Like,
knew
it was
you'd hate the problem.
it was a whole bottle. It was just fluff, mate. Nothing happened, and it was again. Eddie Guerrero, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Died 20 years ago, mate. Can we fucking move on? Like, we can't do 7 Eddie Guerrero tribute spots every time, but in Texas or whatever the fucking AEW do it too. It's a nightmare. Like, and I don't. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I get it. Obviously, again, playing in because it's 20 years after the custody for Dom match as well.
Oh, so
I'm just saying that's what I'm not saying.
Do a little tribute to it. Do one spot in the match. Do CM Punk being Bret Hart. I guess he does more than one spot, but you know what I mean. They didn't need to build the whole thing around being a tribute.
No, a bit overkill. I mean, if they would have just done the chair stuff where Dom went down and then AJ put around there, that would have been no. But even that's you would have even said okay at that. It's the gearing for you and the low rider and stuff like that. I get it from yourself, someone who doesn't really like Eddie Guerrero.
Tell me another thing that happened in the match other than that spot.
Dom won off the air from.
See, they didn't do anything. Like he didn't. They didn't have enough ideas for what they were planning.
It was Eddie Law, Benno. That's what it was. The whole match was Eddie.
That's why it's not for me. Yeah, real disappointment because, like, I know AJ is what he is at this point, but and I know Dom's got a ceiling, but yeah, I was not entertained as I usually am by our Dom.
Before we get into the sacred cow slaughtering,
I know what it is now. I realize process of elimination.
The opener, as well, obviously would never match WrestleMania, the women's triple threat, but it was solid enough action when you have Rhea and Io and Naomi, who I think it
nice entrance with the dad though. That was cool. He did that. That was nice. I like the Dusty thing with Cody as well.
Yes, that was good. That was good. But I think Naomi doesn't deserve the pelt that she's getting for me. I think she's sound. She's not the best, of course, but I think she's improved a lot. And this new character on the mic can be a lot cringe. But I think overall it's worked for her, and you can tie in stuff again with Jade and Bianca when she comes back, and obviously Stephanie Vaquer at a Clash in Paris. You'd think and hope will win the title, and then we get on to stuff with her and Io and Rhea going into WrestleMania. That's the direction that I'd go in personally. That will be good stuff if it happens. But this was good opener, solid enough action, and Naomi.
Not a great opener though.
No, not like WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
No, not a patch at all. But it was good enough, Ben. It was good enough. Can we finally get to this fucking match? Because we've been dying.
I can't believe it. It's not a secret cow to you, mate. Becky's never been a secret cow to you. Go on,
but this is the thing, Ben. Like I done the 180 on Becky Lynch. Understood she's come back. She's got her hands on her own creative, etc. Yeah. Decided to unpick Lyra. They go way back. He had the story in real life, NXT, and it's been. But people can argue not. It's been really fucking good. Like, apart from the last week's go home promo with Lyra, the matches are delivered. It's trying to elevate Lyra. But this was what was this? This was a fucking nightmare, this one, Ben. This was just having so many fucking ideas in your head, and none of them worked, and the fans didn't give a fuck about it as well.
No.
And it was...
And I thought they would. I really did. I thought the fans would be invested in this.
Doing waves, Ben, but I don't blame them. Now, you thought the main events were half an hour and went on long. I haven't looked at this match time, but this felt like it was on for 50 minutes, mate. This felt like it was never ending, and it was just all the ideas with the zip wire stuff. And all right, it fell out.
Didn't work either.
Yeah, and then she put it back in. Whatever, shit like that happens. But even like that, I know it was bad, and it was. No, it was. I can't. But I'm thinking, trying to give the girls the benefit of that. But even that went on too long, and it was like, for fuck's sake. And then the chair stuff, and she was trapped in the chair on the outside, just far too believing her own hype that Becky's getting the publicity, and then just believing it too much for me, and then it ending on this, and Bayley getting back involved, and I didn't mind the finish to a degree, but it took forever to get to that when Bayley come out, and then at the end of it, Becky won, which I didn't think could happen. You know what I mean? But then I said to myself, well, it plays into the fact, Bayley can beat Becky, and that's how Lyra gets. But it's fucking hell. It's just doesn't feel the excitement.
I came back and Bayley was out, and I was just like, what the fuck is she doing here? What are we doing? That was the point I checked out, because it wasn't working before that either, and that just killed it for me. It was dead then.
but just like the crowbar stuff and the legs, it didn't land. It was a wet fart. Someone said that it was a proper wet fart in a fucking of a match. It was.
Not wrong.
It was really, really bad, and it was such a letdown, as I say, because the feud, all the other straight up matches have been fucking brilliant. Even the triple threat match with Bayley and Evolution, they've been really good though, like really, really good. And most of the promos have, but Lyra needed a better night. It's far from that. Yeah. That one on Raw just gone, I say, was one of the worst promos I've ever heard in my life. And Becky can be still annoying as fuck on the mic. Not as annoying as that fucking real life one, though, with that Seth thing. That annoyed me so bad, Ben. Sorry, even going back to that. I hated that when I seen it. It's just fucking awful. But yeah, this was bad. This was really bad, but a letdown because, as I say, Ben, it should have been good. It should have been fucking good.
You thought you'd be able to rely on it as like, okay, at
yes.
least that'll be good.
Yeah, 1,000%. Just went the other way, yeah, completely fucking let down, and that completes SummerSlam 2025, Benno.
A letdown on both nights, mate. A letdown overall, like genuinely, like a letdown. I think even for the people who are invested in it, you know, for the real life stuff with Brock, you can't get away from that. A letdown from a booking point of view, and a letdown from execution point of view. Like, I'm not we joked about it. I used to do it on my EWR games, mate. I book back-to-back nights. I'd do the last day in 1 month and the first day in the next month. And that was my 2-night WrestleMania, mate. I'd have the Stars of Raw on one WrestleMania and the Stars of SmackDown on the other. I'm up for it. Big weekends deserve it. Like, if you do it right, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania being 2 nights, I know that sends a shudder down a lot of people's spine. I'm all right with it. They didn't do it right. The length of the shows was a problem. They were both longer than I thought they would be, especially because of the main events on both nights. I don't think you can do that when you're doing 2 nights. And the layout and the planning behind it, and just that, again, when we criticize Tony Khan for 7-hour shows, you can go, I wouldn't have put that match there, I wouldn't have put that match there. And not always, but a lot of the time you can go, all right, but I get what they were thinking. I get why that was there. Nobody's been able to explain to me so far why these 2 nights were laid out as they were, and it went the way we expected. Anybody doing a preview worth the salt last week could see it when you looked at these cards laid out. Like, how could they not see it? And yeah, I think you've got to stand by your words, mate. Like, if Triple H doesn't nail SummerSlam, he's done. I think he's done. All bookers are, and he's done it at the point where he's doing the fucking PR run, where he's, like I say, knocking around with fucking Trump and Lawrence Taylor and fucking, you know, like, doing WWE Unreal and trying to make sure everybody knows he's Dana White, which he isn't. It's so ironic that it's coming at this point. Do you think Rock ends up winning this battle, ends up coming in? Him and Brian Gewirtz will be his Robin in the little sidecar to take over the booking into 2026. Like, I can't see it turning up from this point. And like I say, I think the proof is in the hardcores that we know who were all going, this was it for me. I'm turning over.
I'm not. I say I watch AEW week to week. I will do now as well. I've said that last week when I was on. I'm not finished with WWE, of course not. Triple H is finished though. No, he's finished. He's worn out, done. Whatever the word is, worn out, finished. Fucking in bed with the wrong people, in bed, whatever you want to say, and spin it. He's just hit a wall with whatever's going on. He genuinely has. And like I said before, it's the characters that I like. Maybe some characters I'm clinging on to. There's wrestlers that I like. Even wrestlers that don't like that are performing well, they're carrying it through at the minute. But they shouldn't have, they should have better creative to stick the thing. Like, you heard all the rumblings about the women being upset, and rightfully so, with Evolution as well at the time. It was up to them as performers. They knocked it out the park because they're fucking good and they do deserve better. And so do most of the male wrestlers. Once again, every wrestler mightn't be everyone's cup of tea. I keep mentioning it, LA Knight and such. But these are featured wrestlers who've been swallowed up to create this work that doesn't really make sense kayfabe-wise. So you sacrifice to someone like that, and once again, people will be shouting at the other, but it's only LA Knight. But no, he's a big character in WWE. He has been. It's stuff like that I just can't get my head around. Like you say, the handle and the J, which I think, you know, we've argued in that, getting put down for Goldberg and stuff to get Goldberg back. So there's a lot you can do and say about him. I think he's finished. The wrestlers will carry it through, and I just don't know what's coming next. But as you say, coming out of this, all right, we've got, is it Cena and Lesnar, Punk and Rollins? Does that fill you with unbelievable excitement? Like, it doesn't, does it? I once again, I don't mind Punk and Seth.
None of Triple H's booking fills me with unbelievable excitement.
Cody, who's he in with? Like stuff. Who is he coming up on Breaker now? You know, with, I don't know. This is what I mean. Usually like we said, the past 2.5 years with him, he's usually got everything boxed off. You can see what's happening. Even if you don't agree with that Judgment Day split, you can see Priest and Balor last year going at it, Rhea and Liv. We can't see nothing. Even Stephanie McKay getting a shot at Naomi, they're not feuds. They're just winning number one contenders matches, and he hasn't got these feuds that he's usually having. Do you know what I mean? Even Finn and fucking Dom, that's been teased for ages. Nothing's happening there. It's just a bit. Don't know. There might be stuff I'm missing. I don't know, but I'm trying to think top to bottom of cards here, and even like a Drew and Orton, as you say, getting put into celeb stuff, up to them as professionals and knocked it out the park. You know, I think on the night, but they do deserve that. It's just a bit of a slum at the minute, but the wrestlers are delivering. I think they are, and obviously the fans are still.
I don't
turning up in droves. So he's gonna milk that as well. The attendances are down. I said it last week. They're in double digit figures. Don't get me wrong, they're still healthy, but they are declining. And if this continues more, that's when the panic will start for me, especially, you know, with my business wise, Ben, as we joke. But that's when I'll start thinking, right, more. That's where it's bad. But and to go back on the 2 night shows, Ben, I've always said WrestleMania, yeah, because it's WrestleMania. But then I think, well, if you have to do it, but they're all too close together. Like I always say it, and spitting into the wind, to win. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, they're perfect because you have one night the men's and one night the women. They're instantly forgettable, aren't they? Because they're both on the same night. You can't remember what happens in which. You separate, and they do deserve a spot on. That makes sense to me. A SummerSlam, as you say, you can lay the cards out, but this is just for the sake of it. WrestleMania, once again, because it's the biggest event, yeah. Even a War Games, Survivor Series, you can have the women one night, the men one night. That makes total sense.
Ideas.
But these shows, and especially as you say, even the 3 tag matches on night 1, the 3 gimmick matches on night 2, just swap one of them around, and it would have made it better. Just one of them, and it would have made it fresher and better. So yeah, I'm not fully out, of course, and I never will be, as you know, Ben. But I can't sit here and lie to you, even like through me grit. I can't do it. I'm seeing it in front of my eyes myself.
I mean, you have, but I appreciate that you're not tonight, mate. Thank you.
No, but I can't. No, I can't because but that's where the opinions come in. It's like I like a solo. We can argue all day on that stuff like that. But the overall creative, I don't think can be argued at the minute. That's my whole point of it. You can like certain wrestlers, you can like certain characters, you can think the shit, you can think they had whatever. But when the overall creative, you can see it in front of your own eyes. That's when we all have to agree. So
well said, mate. Couldn't say it better myself. And it couldn't happen to a more evil company. So to be honest, I'm cheering it, but I understand where you're coming from as well. But there we go. That's WWE SummerSlam. There you go. Nice tight, just over 90. We've hit time overall. Again,
VAR added extra time, Ben. For us.
I was going to say some technical issues tonight that led to us having to do a pre-recorded. I'm fuming with myself, mate. I forgot to. Feels like a house show, mate. I forgot to put the spotlight logo on.
Oh, you have to post that in.
Satisfied my own OCD. No, I'm not doing that, mate. I'll be up all night. I'll fix the audio. Videos, YouTube people, you get what you get. We love you, but there's not quite enough of it. Yeah. Audio though, we always put the extra work in. But no, cracking chatting to you, mate. Then I couldn't say it better myself. But yeah, obviously, like I say, kept this a bit short. One subject show. I haven't seen Bloodsport from the weekend. I'm not sure if I will at this point. That felt like fucking literally watching like 2 super villains, Regal and Nick Khan from the top looking down on a bit of blood. I saw the gif of Pete Dunne throwing the world's worst work punches. I think he shared it himself. I was like, you shouldn't be sharing that, mate. It looks like fucking shit. So no, I haven't seen that or the other shows from the weekend yet.
So you made me watch Bloodsport. We're not going to talk about it. Fucking hell.
As if you are. I didn't even download it for the plane this weekend, but yeah. Maybe JP did while he's on the move, where you can.
He definitely has.
As way back as well, but yeah. Also, so obviously, I'm sure it's when I speak to Suit, there's a few bits of news out there as well, like obviously AEW running the Prudential Center again for Full Gear this year. Bit far away from me at this point, but we do love a good wintertime visit to the New York, New Jersey area. But yeah, that obviously we'll talk more of that with Suit, and we'll see what comes of WWE financials and Brock and all that stuff as well. But yeah, outside of that, Matty, like you say, plug wise, plenty coming up in August where that came from. Say Grapple Live will be continuing through August. Now that I know this actually held up in the end, and the internet's not done too bad. I probably completely ran out of data as I am tethering off my tablet, and that was my main worry, that would be halfway through the show and I'd just leave you on your own, and I wouldn't even be able to message you on WhatsApp because I'd literally be out of data. But but we figured it out. I'll be set up perfectly for literally arrived here a few hours ago. I'll be set up for suit on Wednesday. So yeah, Grapple Live will continue through the month, as well as live spotlight, live weekend shows over on the Patreon. But yeah, a slew of bonus shows coming up this month, mate, as we build up, as we often do at this time of year, to Dealer's Choice in September.
As I say, we've got it all covered this month, Ben. Coming up, UK Rampage 91, bit of a UK stuff tying into obviously AEW running Forbidden Door. We've got the deep cut, the phenomenal AJ Styles, which will end up being a full career retrospective, I'm sure, knowing us. Grapple Lads will be recorded from a hotel bed in London from me and Gareth. Yeah, and Bangkok as well. Dueling episodes are going to be put down the same weekend.
I didn't commit to that.
And well, you've said it now, though, Ben. You've said it. But and as always, you know, our monthly King of the Mountain show with Simon Mulvaney. I had a sneak peek, so I'll keep that close to my chest for Simon as well. He will reveal all when he comes on and announces this month. But obviously, as well, Retro will be getting recorded this Wednesday if anyone's missed that. And as you say, weekend shows, spotlight, news dumps, lives. I mean, what more do you want, Ben? What more do you want?
There you go. You very much get your money's worth. It will be bombarding you this one. I think it's technically a 5-weekend month as well, which means there's
and as you say,
more. And
plus
Forbidden Door, the big one.
Spotlight, Forbidden Door, Triple Mania, Clash in Paris. There's so much going on in the wrestling world. G1 finals as well. So much to talk about this month.
I'm glad you agree that Forbidden Door is the biggest show in August. I agree.
I'm going, Alice.
Well, there you go. No, they did the house show the night before.
Any matches, Ben?
The biggest show in August for you. There are a couple. Yes. We will be getting through it on Wednesday. Swerve in the Carter, mate, which is technically in New Japan, just not from this year. I'm sure you'll be excited for it.
NXT versus New Japan, anything that.
Athena, Tony Storm, into that? No, not for you.
No, that's a solid match. Athena, I'll have to speak to Platt to get me Athena law. Like he's been banging the drum for Athena for all the title reigns, so I'll have to get into him before I go. So at least there's matches announced, and it will be, it'll be a good night, I'm sure.
There you go. Plenty of coverage coming from that as well coming up. But yeah, outside of that, like I say, follow us on the Patreon. If you don't already, even join on the free tier and get some of those shows. Always throw it a nice Brucey bonus out there for the freeloaders. Same with YouTube. Become a YouTube member from 99p only. Get yourself the pre-shows and the odd other thing I'll throw on that feed too.
I was going to say, Ben, it's about time we start plugging some of the archives, mate. We've got years worth of archives now. We'll have to start getting into these plugs.
Yeah.
If we're shilling the Patreon stuff, there's so much on there, mixtapes.
Go on, pick an archive show, plug one. I'll top of your head. What would you plug?
I'll obviously go to my Steve show at my first, but that broke the mold for any like deep cut / mixtape / whatever. But you know, there's all sorts.
Yeah, it broke it. Yeah.
Joe Kabashi, we talk feuds, we talk events. There's so much to go back on the archives and pre-shows and where we just have a chat about stuff outside of wrestling as well. So there's a lot for your money's worth there.
Massively so, but there you go. Get that with wherever your podcasts are sold and on YouTube here as well. And if not, if you are watching us on YouTube and you made it this long, you must like us. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. It will help and get us over the hump on YouTube, which is my goal this summer. So we'll see how we get on. But like I say, it's the patrons and the YouTube members who help us keep the lights on. So thank you, patrons. Thank you, YouTube members. I'd thank our live members. They're not with us tonight. Steph is actually watching backstage. So hello, Steph, our one live viewer tonight who was making sure everything was working. She's our silent producer. But yeah, we'll be back live with all our other shows. But as always, thank you to our kings and queen of the mountain, Conor Laughlin, Eddie Sarbates, Chris Platt, Carl Gack, Sophia Hitchcock, Sam Mulvaney, and Marty Ellis, whose show we've got coming up soon. We will catch you all on the next one. Good night, son.
Ta-da.